Desolator Magic here. It's time for more spoilers from the amazing War of the Spark that is definitely not going to ruin Standard forever, because it rotates out in like a year and a half. So first up, we've got Awakening of Viru-Ghazi. Well, I don't know what that is, but if they're going to awaken it to go slap the crap out of Nico Bolas, I can get behind that. So this is a 5-cost green instant, and it says put 9 1/1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a legendary 0/0 elemental creature with haste named Viru-Ghazi. It's still a land. So if you're wondering why it's specifically 9, it's because Verdurous Gearhulk didn't immediately ruin Standard enough. It did eventually, but it wasn't quick enough for them, so they said, let's go to 9. Now, could they have gone to 10? No, that would be completely insane. For 5 mana, you can't do that. 10 is just too much. Okay, but completely seriously, without trample, this is like, it's just good, but it's not like crazy. I mean, it's no joke, but with the amount of creature removal, you're probably just going to lose your land. I will say, though, you'd be shocked at how much universal removal or pseudo creature removal that says non-land. Like, you have to target a non-land permanent. Well, this is a land, so you can't get rid of it. So, like, Ixalan's Binding, cannot get rid of this. A lot of Planeswalker abilities cannot get rid of this. But I mean, you can just chump block with like zombies or servos forever. So I mean, it's good. It's a threat. It's just not insane. I mean, they might as well just made it a 2020. Next up, Chain Whip Cyclops. This is a 4/4 for 5, and if you pay 4, target creature can't block this turn. I am so sick of that ability. I wish I would stop printing it. Thank God it's on an unplayable creature. Next up, we've got a God card, but it's probably not the one you're thinking of, seeing as how we've already seen in the spoilers, some artwork spoilers, the Amonkhet gods have been revived. Or at least like 4 of them, and I don't remember how many there were. There were like 7? But then there was like some forgotten ones. Wait, no, maybe there was 8, but then I think there was like 10, and then they never made it to the story. Well, regardless, we've got Ilharg the Raiseboar, the Boar God. And this card is ridiculous. I don't know why nobody ended up playing Champion of Ronus. That card was stupidly broken. Well, they made an even more broken version of it, and it's Ilharg the Raiseboar. It's a 6/6 for 5 with trample. It's not green, which is good, because that means people might not play it. And whenever it attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Return that creature to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. AKA one of the best effects from, Fate Reforged or something? And then when it dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it onto its owner's library, 3rd from the top. Wonderful. You literally cannot get rid of this thing no matter what you do. Kill it. Nope. Bypasses it. Sacrifice it. Nope. Bypasses it. Exile it. Nope. Bypasses it. Why do the idiots at Wizards of the Coast keep thinking that anything is okay about that? If I want to exile something, that means remove from game. That means get the hell out of my game. I don't ever want to see you again. So yeah, free casting. Everybody loves free casting. That's never blown up in Wizards' face in the past in multiple formats over multiple years. The only problem is, okay, you have to get him out. He's not indestructible. And then you have to have something monstrously enormous in your hand. So like that's a lot of crap that has to go right. But if somebody were able to consistently line that combo up, you could just drop in something just outrageously ridiculous. I mean, there's that worm that gains 7 life on an ETB effect, and you can just gain 7 life over and over and over. I mean, this is ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. They should never print another free casting card as long as the game goes on, which at this point is not going to be very long. Thankfully, I could only name one deck that this would go in, so hopefully nobody plays it. Next up, Domri Anarch of Bolas. This was already in the last leak, so, I mean, press pause if you want to read it. Otherwise, not going to repeat myself. But we do have Domri's Ambush. Apparently, he's taken the opportunity to go cat hunting, although that could be like his beast companion. It's a 2-cost sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. That creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. This card looks suspiciously familiar. I think I've spoiled this before, which is weird because it's allegedly new. Oh, it's another force fight that can hit planeswalkers, so we have at least 2 of those now, which is great. Next up, Crunch Wrangler. Now you might think, oh, that's a Crunch behind him. No, his name is Crunch and his last name is Wrangler. Fun lore fact I didn't just make up. So he's a 2/1 for 2 with trample, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on him. I mean, yeah, a green creature, a heavy ramp deck right now is usually just hexproof crap and mana ramp. And there's not much early game, but it's like he's also not mana ramp, so I don't know if I'd necessarily put him in. Next up, Living Twister, which, odd that that's a Gruul card. I didn't think they could do something like that, but okay. It's a 2/5 for 3, which is not bad, but good luck with that mana cost. And if you pay 2 including a red, discard a land, Living Twister deals 2 damage to any target. Totally not worth it. And if you pay 1 green, return a tapped land you control to its owner's hands so that you can use the other ability, which is still not worth it. Yeah, just throw lands at people for 2. That's a great deck archetype. I can't believe they made this a rare. Next up, Martyr for the Caus. It's a 2/2 for 2, human soldier, and when it dies, proliferate. That is a pretty proficient and early game Planeswalker guard, so I think that'll see some play. Next up, Nissa's Triumph. Oh, they're going to do 5 of these, aren't they? I'm just going to put 2 and 2 together and assume that she uses some mega ultra high levels of mana, like for example 5 mana, to awaken whatever something or other Ghazi, whatever I said before. Certainly not Ghazi. Clinton will just come in and just counter the spell. So it's a 2-cost sorcery, double green. Search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards. If you control a Nissa Planeswalker, instead search your library for up to 3 land cards. Don't necessarily have to be forest. Pretty nice. Review those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. This is really good. In mono green, this basically trumps anything. I can't name a better spell than this. I mean, maybe in the right deck Marwyn, but that, some things have to go right. Otherwise, no, this is the king of ramp right here. I mean, nothing beats this. This is basically explosive vegetation, but for half the mana. Now, there is a little catch. The lands go to your hand, not the battlefield. But still, I mean, you could just play them. Plus, there's 1 mono green and 1 Simic card, bare minimum, if not a third one, that lets you double drop lands on a turn. So, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Next up, Raging Crunch. It's a 4/3 for 3, and it can't attack alone. These types of creatures in this archetype has not been popular really ever that I can remember. If they made him a 5/3, I could see maybe somebody throwing it into something, but 4/3, that ain't worth it. Next up, Thundering Ceratok. It's a 4/5 for 4 with trample, and when it enters battlefield, other creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. Kind of a neat effect. Still not as good as, that Caus card. Oh yeah, Goreclaw, Terror of Caus. That's a 4-cost 4/3 legendary, and whenever it attacks, each creature you control with the power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn. So that's pretty nice. It's not a one and done effect, and yeah, you have to swing with it, which is dangerous, but it itself becomes a 5/4. That is not bad. Next up, oh yes, I was hoping this would happen, Topple the Statue. Now I'm going to continue to put 2 and 2 together here and say that Nissa awoke whatever Ghazi thing, and then it just basically made a beeline for the Bolas statue and just slapped all the ugly off it. And the flavor text is, Bolas cared little when his statue fell. Oh sure, thinking it a useful distraction, underestimating the surge of resolve it gave his opponents. Well, if it doesn't do anything, it has no ability, which actually we've seen the card, it does. But if in the lore it's purely decorative, they could have just defaced the living crap out of it. They could have just put a mustache, a top hat, maybe a monocle, and that would actually kind of make him look cool. I don't know, just get out a Sharpie and go to town on the dude. That would have been a morale booster. So anyway, what this really does, 3-cost white instant, target or tap target permanent. If it's an artifact, destroy it, and then draw a card. Not bad. I mean, it's basically a blue effect. And then the artifact destruction, that's more of a red effect. I'm actually confused why this is white. It's not like white's never done this. They do occasionally tap stuff and they do occasionally blow up artifacts. But the character in the art is green, first of all. Very, very strange card here. I'm not sure this will see a ton of play, but it depends. This would be pretty good in a sideboard, though, I will say. So I was going to make this a separate video, but this video is only 9 minutes, so let's just pad the hell out of it and burn through this. Wizards did an oopsie. I knew something was pretty off when I saw that awful artwork for the new Dovin. So Dovin, Hand of Control. Funny you should mention hands. Let's count the fingers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on that hand it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. I mean, Hand of Control, they had to have done this on purpose. They had to. Somebody call up Kieran Yanner and ask him if he was purposely instructed to draw only 5 fingers. Now, if you're confused, count the fingers on every other Dovin. Now, not every Vidalcan has 6 fingers. That has been confirmed if I'm not mistaken. It depends what subspecies of Vidalcan they are and what plane they're from, I guess, kind of, or whatever. I mean, okay, it's all just retcon BS. I mean, they just drew one with 6 fingers and forgot that other ones had 5, basically. Or the other way around. I mean, in my opinion, that's what happened. So, doesn't look like he got one cut off. It looks like they drew him that way. So, oopsie. They also did an oopsie with Ral in an infinite combo. It's a little obscure. I'm not sure how it'll really be in standard, but it slots into a deck that was already easily tier 1. So, oh, that doesn't look so good. But I'll save that for a different video if I even cover it at all. If you want to look into it, you can infinitely clone a clone spell, and nobody's saying this, but I think you can respond to an opponent's casting of literally anything with expansion, and then just go infinite and win the game. So they cast Opt, and then you cast expansion, and because of his ability, you just win. Other people are saying it doesn't work that way. I can't figure out why it wouldn't. So that's the short version of it. The combo's obscure, but it goes in such a powerful deck, I think it is realistic that we'll see it in standard, and that's not good. So double oopsie. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe for even more spoilers, and because when we get to 50K, a couple of you have already figured out what I meant by what I said for what I'm doing for the 50K video, but I'm going to keep teasing people in case you haven't quite put 2 and 2 together. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.